It's hard to believe, like, when we met, we were literally teenagers. And we have made it this far through all the trials and tribulations, because there was a lot of that. Hey guys, welcome back. So today is my anniversary. So yeah, today's my anniversary. So for those that do not know, I am married. This year makes 6 years being married. And yeah, we're gonna be doing a cute little date night inside, since, you know, all the corona, we can't really go too much anywhere, even though there are like places that are opening up. We just personally would rather just stay home. So as you can see, everything is primed as usual. You guys know the drill by now. For today's eye look, I am going to be using the Huda Beauty Nudes palette. So I have used this a couple times, and these are what the shades look like. For today's look, I think I'm going to be doing more of a brown eye. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here. And we are just going to stamp this. We're just doing something light, hopefully. That's what I have in my mind, but I love a smoky look too. But yeah, guys, today is June 3rd. I got married at 19 years old. I know that is super young, and I really didn't plan that. Never in a million years did I think that I would get married as young as I did, and I definitely don't regret it. So 6 years ago today, I got married. I didn't have a wedding or anything. I was 19, and we mostly got married because, of course, we loved each other, but he kind of threw at me that he had joined the army and was leaving in 2 months, because at that time we were not exactly together. Okay, my relationship is pretty complicated. I'm a Sagittarius and he is a Cancer, so we clash a lot. I met my husband in, well, technically, so I'm gonna go and mix these two shades. Technically, I met my husband in 8th grade. We did not go to the same school. I met him during this forensics thing, and it's kind of like just like acting, and he was there, and I just thought he was the most handsome looking guy I ever seen in my life. And I had told one of my friends, I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. But I am extremely shy, and so my friend was like, you want me to bring him over? I was like, no girl, it's cool. I just thought he was cute because I'm extremely shy. Of course, my friend went and grabbed him and basically told her that I thought he was cute, and he started to walk towards me. Okay, so I am very shy. I immediately like took off. Okay, I was like, oh no. I was like, he's gonna think I'm crazy and all this other stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm good on that. But he ended up cornering me. Okay, he found me and just like sat next to me and was like, hey, and we were talking and he gave me his number. And I was so excited to have his number. I like died, okay? But I really didn't want to seem like desperate. So I was gonna wait 3 days to call him. I don't know why, but I thought like, okay, I'll give it some time and I'll call him like after 3 days. Well, in between that time, I lost his number. So I never called him. I'm gonna focus this color. So yeah, I never called him. And I was like, oh, yep, he for sure forgot about me now. Well, to my surprise, we ended up going to the same high school. So it was my freshman year and we had orientation and I saw him. Now, I didn't exactly remember him, but when I saw him, I was like, I've seen him before. He looks familiar. And I just couldn't put my fingers on it. Me, my mom, and my sisters were sitting in the back of the auditorium and they, I guess, ran out of seats. Him and his dad were standing like right behind us. And I just couldn't stop like glancing, okay? And he ended up waving at me and I like died. I was like, oh my God, he waved at me. But I never spoke with him. And I kind of was like, oh man, I hope he doesn't come up to me, especially when I'm with my mom, because my mom definitely didn't play about that type of stuff. And to this one. So it's the first day of school, you know, I'm hoping that I get to see him. I go about my day and I don't see him. And I'm just like, I guess it's not meant to be. This is looking a little too red, so I'm gonna grab another palette. So I'm gonna be using the Chocolates by Juvia's Place. I'm going to mix these two. I didn't see him that morning or anything, and I really wasn't expecting to. But we ended up having one class together, and that was the first class, and that was ROTC. So our school was a Navy ROTC school, well, NJROTC. So at the time I had went to boot camp that summer prior to freshman year. Okay, my mother made me go. It wasn't something I exactly wanted to go and do. But my mom made me go and it was pure hell, okay? And because of that, I was basically like in a leadership position. And he just happened to be in my squad, okay? So not only do I get to see him, I have to interact with him and be his superior, basically, essentially, starting out. So I taught him how to march and the little basics of everything. So it was just crazy. Of course, we were flirting, but out of everybody, I was like the hardest on him. He didn't get a pass just because he was cute, okay? While I was talking to him, I found out he had a girlfriend. So I immediately like told him like, okay, well, we can be friends. I was like, but if you want to be more than that, you know, if you want to date me, like, I'm not going to date you until you break up with your girlfriend. And I'm going to cut my crease. About 2 weeks after that, he told me he broke up with his girlfriend and he wanted to date me. So we were about 14 years old, okay? Young and dumb. We dated for about 2 months and then we broke up. The next year, I totally ignored him. I wanted nothing to do with him at all. I don't know why it's not grabbing in this area, but whatever. We're just gonna have to roll with it. I'm gonna just go into this gold. Yeah, our relationship that year was pretty much non-existent. I wanted nothing to do with him because I was the cut-off queen, okay? And yeah, so my junior year was when we reconnected. I went through a bad breakup and he just happened to be there and saw me crying, and we were friends. And I made it very clear to him that I didn't want a romantic relationship with him whatsoever. I was like, I will only be your friend and that is fine. And he was in another relationship. That one was about 8 months long, I believe, that he was with her. And we were strictly friends. So he would talk to me and I would give him advice on, you know, what he can do about his relationship, like to make his relationship stronger and everything like that. Well, he ended up, I'm gonna go into this shade again and we are gonna blend this. He ended up falling for me, being a friend, and he ended up breaking up with that girl. Now, I was not interested in a romantic relationship with him, but he definitely made it clear that he missed me. So after he broke up with her, I didn't date him for about 2 months, I believe. Then he had asked me to be his girlfriend a week before my birthday. So he's like very corny and cheesy, okay? I'm not gonna talk and do my liner, okay? So I will be right back. And for liner, I'm using the Benefit Roller Liner. I really love this liner. It's super easy to use. For lashes today, we are going to be using the Beauty Creations lashes in the style Woke. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these prepped, and we are going to add a little bit more, you know, glitz and glam to this. It's cute right now, but just want to amp it up a bit. Started dating a week before my birthday, and it was pretty serious at that point. I made it very clear, like, you know, I'm just not gonna be dating just for the fun of it. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm like more of a relationship type of girl. Like, if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna be with me type thing. I don't want to like be together and then break up 2 weeks later. It wasn't always easy. Learn a lot about a person when you live with them. I'm just gonna add a little bit of NYX glitter glue onto my eyes. And I'm going to be taking this Diamond Dazzler in Radiant, and I'm going to pop that on top of this just to, you know, make it a little bit more glitzy, I guess. We ended up moving in together, and you really get to know someone when you live with them. So I saw a lot of things that I didn't really know about him. Like, I didn't know like how much he was a gamer. Like, he played video games so much. We ended up getting married that next year, which I didn't think was gonna happen. When he went to basic training, I never cried so much in my life. That was the longest that we were ever apart. We would do everything together. So it was definitely weird not having him there and not having any contact with him really besides letters. And I'm just going back into that gold shade just to blend it here. Getting married young, you have to be realistic. Like, you guys are gonna grow up together, hopefully, and mature. Not everybody does or is able to, or it's gonna take a while to get to that level. I'm just going into those shades there again, just to deepen that a little bit. This is definitely more smoky than what I was planning. With us being so young, like, there were bound to be issues. Nobody really talks about the struggles of marriage. And when you're 19 years old, like, okay, it's hard enough just paying bills, let alone like having to work on a relationship when you're like very just everywhere. I'm a fire sign and he's like water, so we had to really figure out like how to communicate. Me and him are basically polar opposites. He's very like reserved, but I don't know, I would say he's a little bit more outgoing than me. I don't really talk to strangers or anything, but he doesn't mind getting to know people. But for the most part, he would rather stay inside and I'd rather just like go out and about. I didn't know that about him until we lived together, because when we were in high school, we tried to do a lot of activities within GROTC just to like spend time together. So I joined a lot of teams, okay. We were on the drill team together. He got me into doing the rifle team with him, which I don't even understand how I even got into that, because I promise you, I am like the worst shooter ever, okay? He even got me to do the PT team. He got me to do that, and I'm like the worst runner ever, okay? And I hate working out, okay? I hated it. It was pure torture. I did a lot of that really to spend time with him. I never thought I would be married at 19. I thought for sure I would be married by like 25 and then like starting a family. And I got married at 19 and pregnant at 21. I was about to turn 22. Me being pregnant was definitely the happiest time of my life. We definitely wanted to have kids. I didn't necessarily want to have kids that early though, but just seeing everyone on my timeline, like on Facebook and everything, you see everybody starting their families. Even if it was like a teen pregnancy, it was just seeing that, and a lot of people around him were having kids, and you know, he felt like we left out because we were like actually married, and he was having like baby fever. And so I ended up wanting that, of course, and we tried for a year to get pregnant and it didn't happen. So then when I finally got pregnant, I was like surprised and shocked. And honestly, like I said, being pregnant was the best time of our marriage. Then he deployed after I had my baby. She was 6 weeks old when he left, so that was an extremely hard time. Year 1 and 2 was just like rough as well, because having to get adjusted to the military lifestyle and him being gone months at a time, that was definitely a lot. The 4th year was basically trying to just reconnect and get into the groove and introducing him to life being as a parent. So that was that. Year 5, we basically had it together. Year 5, we basically had everything pretty much settled at that point. Of course, we had disagreements here and there, like you're going to have in any relationship, but you have to just keep remembering like why you got married, what your goal is. Do you really want to just spend the rest of your life with someone, or do you just want to throw it away? Year 4 was pretty much full of like a lot of changes. I ended up helping my sister find our birth parents, and yes, we are adopted. That in itself was like an emotional time. Me and my husband have been through a lot of things. We have been there through like death and other things like grieving. This was just like a whole different like can of worms at this point with finding my biological family. I definitely would recommend marriage counseling for any couple, really, because it helps you find ways to communicate and know what each other's needs are, because sometimes like having those conversations, you don't always know the right words or like why someone thinks, and just being in like that neutral setting where nobody feels attacked and everyone feels pretty comfortable. So I definitely believe in marriage counseling if you're able. For us in the military, we have free counseling, so we have all the resources for that. Yeah, 6 years. married. I can't believe it. We've been, I don't really count. Well, it depends. I've known him since like 2009, so that's like a decade, over a decade of knowing someone. And as we grow up, as we get older, like your needs change, your wants change. After kids, the same thing. So yeah, marriage definitely isn't easy, but it shouldn't be war either. And if it is war, like, you guys or whoever needs to just like reevaluate like your situation and just like take a step back. Definitely being married in the military is like extremely hard. It will definitely test your relationship with being away and just being alone. It definitely can take a toll. It definitely can take a toll on anyone. Like I said, prior to the military, we were basically glued at the hip. We would do everything together. I worked at McDonald's being a teenager, so he would come to my job and we would just have lunch together, and we just really like took the time to like do those things together, like little things here and there. In the military, well, being military affiliated, it can be a little bit difficult to like connect in that way, because everything is on a schedule, on a time. So we don't always have time to do the things that we want to do. Plus I worked, and our first 2 years of marriage, I was working and going to school. I went to cosmetology school and was working at Ulta there, part-time. So I was a full-time student and worked at Ulta part-time just to have something for myself. I can't believe how fast time has gone. 6 years, and our daughter is going to be 3 this year. At the end of the month, actually. It's so crazy. Having a child together definitely had an impact on our marriage. It's just a change. You now have this responsibility you have, and just trying to balance that time for your partner and caring for this new life that you guys have brought into the world. Now that I have like Leilani, like we can't just like get up and go whenever we want. We can't just travel whenever we want. We have to plan it out, and you have to like make a time for yourself, well, for you and your partner. And that can be extremely hard if you're not like always working at it, to make it where y'all are spending at least some time together, because it's easy to get caught up just taking care of the kid and, you know, not really taking care of yourself. But people make it work. And that's the thing in marriage. Like, if you want it to work, you will find a way. I'm gonna take these two shades again and run that underneath the lash line. I feel like when you're married, you definitely have to be more accountable, because you are legally bound to this person, and you chose to do that in front of God and just your peers, and you know, people want to see you make it. Marriage counseling is definitely a good thing. That way everybody's on the same page. Before you get married, for sure you want to have talks about finances and things like that. Half of my marriage, we had to really budget. Like, we didn't really have much of anything, and we had to save for it. So we definitely, the first year of our marriage, we spent saving to like furnish our apartment that we had with the military. So yeah, I did try to buy things prior to us moving to our duty station, but you know, some things you just don't think about being 19 years old. Like, we didn't have a couch. We had a bed and a bed frame, but that was pretty much it. We had a table that his mom gave us, but no chairs, no couch. We had a microwave, so we had a lot to like furnish. I'm definitely the spender. I like to shop, okay? I have always liked to shop. So I'm just going to line my lips with Bite Me. And that is one of like the major reasons why people get divorced, is finances. But me and my husband are on the same page when it comes to finances and saving. And you know, we have what works for us. Even when we were dating, like, I don't think we had access to each other's money, but we were definitely open about how much money we had and what we were doing with it and things like that. Yeah, marriage is basically just about being on the same page and just working at your marriage every day, or at least trying to. So I forgot to contour my nose, so I'm just gonna be taking this Anastasia bronzer in Mahogany. But yeah, with marriage, you definitely have to work on it every day, put some type of effort into it, and it gets harder after kids for sure. So if it's hard before you have kids, just think of what's gonna happen when you do have kids, because it's a completely different atmosphere when you bring kids into it, and they take a lot of your time, and they are very needy, and you just have to have a lot of patience. And you know, being a mother or parent in general, you might not always have that patience. especially for the child, let alone your relationship with a grown person. Marriage is definitely about growth. And I'm just going to take this Ofra highlighter and just add it to the tops of the high points of my cheeks. But yeah, marriage definitely, you gotta grow or want to grow in your relationship. And that's really going to make or break it. And of course, we all have our own deal breakers along with that. I like the lips like this, but it's a little too natural for me. I don't know. I'm just so used to like the more defined lips, but I'm gonna make it more defined. Who am I kidding? I have to. See, that looks better. So I'm gonna go and curl my hair because my man likes when I curl my hair, and then I will come back with the whole look. And this is what the look is looking like with the hair. I didn't curl it too much, just a little bit, little wave going on. And I am wearing a dress, and the dress that I'm wearing is from Pretty Little Thing, and if I can find it, I will link it in the description box. I'm definitely feeling grown and sexy, but still like young and fun. I feel like that's what this look is giving me, and I'm feeling it. I definitely don't feel like that 19-year-old girl that got married. To amp up the look a little bit, I'm gonna be taking this Makeup Revolution Glow Mist and just spraying it just to add a little sheen. Just buff it in with this Colourpop buffing brush. And I'm gonna pop a little bit of highlighter on. I'm gonna take my Jaclyn Hill brush and I'm going to mix these and just add a little bit over top. Just for more of a glow, just to make it pop just a little more. And this is the final look. And if you are married or in any relationship, may you have many more years of love with your special someone.